Good morning and welcome to our daily reflection this morning. As we grow into adulthood, there are many people who influence what we believe, how we think, and ultimately how we live our lives. Parents are where we probably get our earliest influences from. I can blame my dad for my complete lack of DIY skills, as my mum often complained he couldn't safely knock a nail into a wall. But another was my final primary school teacher. What she left me with was the ability to finally believe in myself. By the time we are young adults, we might think we know it all, but we continue to learn from and be influenced by others. This was brought home to me just a few days ago when I came across and reread my employment record from my 20 years in the Royal Navy. I had obviously continued to learn whilst going through those 20 years. The record was completed by a senior officer from each of my postings, and one of the first read, "Rather quiet but conscientious, does what jobs are given him, but displays little initiative." But all that changed within a few years. To Paton has served HMS Invincible well throughout his 2.5 years on the ship, using his experience, sound professional knowledge, and good leadership qualities to good effect in all areas of his work. And as I've gone through life, the words of Jesus have also influenced me, particularly when he said, "Love the Lord your God and love others as you love yourself." These two commands are pegs. Everything in God's law hangs from them. Now, one of today's set readings is from the book of Proverbs, a book that offers statements about how to conduct our life wisely. So reading chapter 1, verses 1 to 10. These are the wise sayings of Solomon, David's son, Israel's king, written down so we'll know how to live well and right, to understand what life means and where it's going. A manual for living, for learning what's right, fair and just, to teach the inexperienced the ropes, and to give our young people a grasp of reality. There's something here for seasoned men and women, still a thing or two for the experienced to learn, fresh wisdom to probe and penetrate, and rhymes and reasons of wise men and women. Start with God. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom and learning. So pay close attention, friend, to what your father tells you. Never forget what you learned at your mother's knee. Wear their counsel like a winning crown, like rings on our fingers. Dear friend, if bad companions tempt you, don't go along with them, as they will say, "Let's go out and raise some hell." This is the word of the Lord. The first verse attributes the book as written by Solomon, the son of David, but more likely this stems from a tradition of tying a book to a biblical figure known for a certain quality. For example, the book of Psalms is associated with David, who was known to be a poet and musician. Solomon was known for his wisdom, so the book of Proverbs, put together, seemed like a natural fit. More likely, though, they are translations of older known works from wise men from such places as Egypt, Sumer, or Mesopotamia, collected together to share the practical wisdom of what was perceived as correct living. One Spanish author once defined Proverbs as short sentences drawn from long experience. Most people might be familiar with the odd proverb or two, but even then they can be misunderstood. The book of Proverbs is a book that is often ignored today. Some proverbs can seem banal to some, contradictory, and far from 21st century, because our culture can be very cynical about promises from a book that was written thousands of years ago in a very different culture from our own. But in thinking about it, some are still very relevant, such as "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And any who love knowledge want to be told when they are wrong. It is stupid to hate being corrected. Another favourite proverb of mine, sadly not included in this book, is an old Chinese proverb. Give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, and he will sit in a boat and drink beer all day. But if we were to think about it, the vast majority of the big or small decisions we make every day, they're all based on what has influenced us, what we have learned, read, or been told. Our life experiences, in other words, all add up to contribute to the person we are today. Are we happy with that kind of person? A prayer to finish, courtesy of Beverley Mason, the Bishop of Warrington. A reminder of where we are today. Our Father in heaven, the coronavirus came like a thief in the night, unseen and silent. It stole the lives of so many people. There are so many hurting people. You promised to comfort the broken-hearted. Please comfort all whose hearts are broken. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Amen. And whatever you do today, this coming week, be careful, be safe, and keep smiling. Bye for now.